Hey peeps, with week 2 of fantasy football starting tonight, Thursday, I'm going to go through a statistical analysis that looks at what wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs, in terms of their receiving points, are the most likely or have the biggest potential, highest reversion to the mean and regression to the mean, meaning ones that by advanced statistics um, should have gotten more points in week 1 or got too many points, so to speak, on a probability basis, meaning that this week they're probably less popular and maybe underpriced on the salary cap sites and by fantasy football people. And, the media, we tend to have recency bias. We look at week to week or even 2 weeks and we think, oh, that guy did great this week, he's going to do great again, or that guy was crap, he's going to be crap again, when in actuality, a lot of people use this sort of strategy to find value plays for that. And again, I'm really big on DraftKings Reignmakers right now. And if you haven't signed up for that, it's a really good project. And if you haven't signed up, please use my referral code that's going to be listed here, but also in the top of the comments. All right, I'm just going to jump into it. And this is based on advanced statistics, but it is only sort of projections. I'm not going to give the specific numbers. I'm just going to kind of go through the players. So the player with the highest projection reversion to the mean, and so these are positive direction basically, is CD Lamb of the Cowboys. I know they have a new quarterback coming in, but he is actually the one. And talk about a contrarian play, there it is. The second of the wide receivers and tight ends is Deebo Samuel. And this does not even count any rushing touches he may get. Trey Lance, some questions there, but they do have a home game this week. The third one is Kyle Pitts, tight end, Atlanta Falcons, highest potential reversion to the mean, to the upside this week, approximately. Some other name, oh, I'm sorry. And the next one is basically Steelers skill positions, because there's several on the upcoming list I'm going to show you, and I didn't really just want to pick one out. I guess to some degree it would depend on if how Trubisky throws the ball this week, but numbers-wise, they came in among the worst for underperforming what was expected based on advanced statistics. So here's some more names that are sort of on the positive side of things. So when I say reversion to the mean, I mean they performed under and could be expected to go upside, and then regression, they performed better and could be expected to come back some. Hopefully I'm using those terms correctly. These are DraftKings and FanDuel, but both separated, but the lists are pretty the same. And some of these guys don't play a lot, so you have to keep that in mind. Perryman, Claypool on both lists. These are all pretty much on both lists. Higsby. Peoples-Jones, one to watch out for. One I picked up in DraftKings Reignmakers. Deontay Johnson, Fearmouth, I can never pronounce his name. So you see there's 3 Pittsburgh there, so I sort of just said Pittsburgh in general. Devontae Smith, nowhere to be seen. Of course, he's not on the FanDuel list, but he is on the DraftKings. He's on the next sort of tier down in DraftKings. Nowhere to be seen. We'll see on that one. Doolin on Indianapolis. Zay Jones is another one I picked up when I was looking for very cheap, rare receivers. And Hayden Hurst. Now on the FanDuel list, actually, Jamar Chase does make this sort of top 10 of the next group, which is listed here. For highest potential upside reversion to the mean. A couple others. Also looking at the running backs, but this is just receiving. This is not counting touches and yard rushes and things like that. Mixon. So you can see there were several Cincinnati on there actually. Wilson on San Francisco, Montgomery, Burkhead, and Derrick Henry actually, barely. And a couple other bigger names, wide receivers that also have positive reversion potential. Brandon Cooks, Amari Cooper, Mecole Hardman, who's playing tonight, and Christian Kirk. So then let's take a look at the sort of negative potential ones who outperformed and may have a regression to the mean is what I would call it. Hopefully I'm using those terms correctly. The highest one was Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings with an LSU uniform there. Obviously, he had a monster week last week. The next one was Stephon Diggs of the Bills. And the Bills played fantastic against the Rams. But number-wise, they're basically the highest potential are a couple Bills players among the highest for negative reversion to the mean this week in my analysis. Next one is Gabriel Davis of the Bills. So 2 Bills right there. And the fourth big, I'd sort of put the bigger names at the top. The fourth big name one is Kelsey of the Chiefs, who does play tonight. Going to be an interesting Thursday night game for showdowns and whatnot with Keenan Allen likely out, or I'm not sure if it's already confirmed out. And sort of would be expecting a Chargers offense to show upside from last week and the Chiefs to sort of show downside, but apparently the Chargers coach didn't do very good the first week, so we'll have to see on that. But Kelsey has negative potential reversion to the mean. Some others with regression potential, so sort of negative. These lists are basically the same in general from DraftKings and FanDuel. That's just a scoring differential, basically, between the two. O.J. Howard, Houston, obviously, he came out of nowhere. Duvernay, Baltimore, I sort of hope that doesn't happen because I do own him as a rare. Taysom Hill, this is just receiving, though, not rushing or quarterback. Not 100% sure why he showed up on there. Pettis of Chicago, Disley of Seattle. So there's some tight ends that are sort of flash in the pan types. But Waddle is actually on there from Miami, Shepard from the Giants, Anderson from Carolina, and Carter from the Chargers, who a lot of people are expecting to get some play tonight. And additionally, on the FanDuel list, notice that Judy from Denver also shows up. A few other big names. Running backs, some of the bigger the running backs with some of the bigger negative regression potential in terms of receiving only. Hilliard of Tennessee, Swift of Detroit. Possible injury news on him. We're waiting to see on that. Edwards-Helaire of Kansas City, another guy playing tonight. Hunt on Cleveland. Robinson on Jacksonville. And actually Saquon Barkley on the Giants, just in receiving. And some of the other big name receivers who were up there in negative regression potential. Michael Thomas on the Saints. McLaurin on the Commanders. Kupp on the Rams. And Everett on the Chargers, another name playing tonight, who is expected to, the Chargers who are going to pick up the slack from Allen being out. So take those with keep that in mind, that they have that factor that wasn't calculated in from last week. All right, I think this is my shortest video in a while. So there's my DraftKings Reignmakers referral code to sign up at the top. And I finally just want to say, destiny is all.